We bear witness and we testify that no one has the right to be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is his messenger and his servant. To proceed, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is a karaoke mic, subhanAllah. So I think Brother Adam is going to give some poetry and spoken word, inshallah, soon. And we're going to all sing along, bi'idhnillah, inshallah ta'ala. So, my topic today was titled in a poster, Leaving a Legacy. And this is what I wanted to speak about today, inshallah ta'ala. To start off with saying that Muslims, all Muslims, every single one of us, should be visionary people, should be planners, should be always concerned about their self-development, improving, making goals, achieving goals, having aims, having objectives, and having strong determination and being hard workers. As Muslims, this is something that we should all aspire to be like, and this is from the teachings of our religion. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ إِذَا عَمَلَ أَحَدَكُمْ عَمَلًا أَن يُتْقِنَهُ. Allah indeed loves that whenever you do any actions, that when you do this action, you do it with itqan, you do it with mastering it, you do it with sincerity, with efforts, with perfection. We don't do things half-heartedly, we do it to the best of our ability. And as believers, we recognize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us many blessings. Our creation and our existence in itself is a blessing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made humans the best creatures, the best creation. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. We have created insan, human being, in the best form, gave him the best capabilities. وَعَلَّمَ الْإِنسَانَ مَا لَمْ يَعْلَمْ. And we have taught man, we have taught him the knowledge which he didn't know before. So this aql, this intellect that Allah gave us, this is what makes us more supreme than any other creation. To the trees, to the animals, to the environment. Otherwise, they are all amazing creatures, but Allah gave us the aql. And this aql, intellect, is what gives us the capabilities to create buildings, to innovate, to to produce technology, and so on. And historically speaking, when Muslims, they combined the deen, religion, with ilm, general knowledge, they were the leaders and the founders of many modern contributions until today. It was a Muslim scholar, alim, who is the founder and the inventor of the clocks. So if it wasn't for a Muslim, we won't have Big Ben today. It was a Muslim who made a copy, an imitation, and a representation of the times that was inspired by the sun. He made it into a clock. It was a Muslim that discovered and created the foundations of flying, how to fly. He created an actual model of wings that imitates today's aeroplanes, and this is where the idea comes from another Muslim. And many modern science, technology, maps. We were the scholars of anthropology, of sociology, of engineering, of many of today's great contributions to our current civilization comes from Muslims. And this is what, when they combined the iman with knowledge. If we study our religion, we will find that many of its teachings, it promotes being visionary, hardworking, being optimistic, being good planners. And if we study the life of the Prophet ﷺ, you will find that he was the most productive person, and he was the most visionary person. And if we try to imitate and follow his sunnah, then we will find that our lives, inshallah ta'ala, will also transform and will improve as well. He is our role model, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. In the Messenger of Allah, there is a great example, a great role model. لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرِ وَذَكَرَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا. For who? For those who want to meet Allah and the last day, and for those who frequently remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's take an example, because you will find in his life things that are parallel to recent modern research. So the most productive time we recently discovered, according to scientific research, is the morning. Human beings, they work the best in the morning. And according to a scholar, Dr. Michael Bruce, who is a sleep doctor, he's the author of a famous book called The Power of When. He said that there is a science of good timing, and there is a part of our DNA that reveals the peak performance inside us, and an inner clock inside our brain that's taken away, keeping perfect time since we were young babies. And this is engineered inside us, according to his studies, that the most effective time for the brain and the body to work is in the morning. And at night time we are not as productive. So according to the life of the Prophet ﷺ, he used to wake up for Salat al-Fajr, even before Fajr, to pray. And Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he narrated that the Prophet would stay after Fajr and would stay up until the sunrise, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that he made dua to Allah, "Oh Allah, bless my ummah in the morning." So whatever we do in the morning, it's always going to be blessed. Someone wants to do tijara, business, just for an hour. You will find that in that morning, his brain is working so well. There's blessings in his rizq and his tijara. If he's studying, subhanAllah, even you guys are students, study in that 1 hour in the morning is better than studying 10 hours during the week, because the brain is so powerful. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Oh Allah, bless my ummah in the mornings." And it was reported that whenever the Prophet would send troops or an army, he would always send them in the beginning of the day. And also some of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum and the Tabi'een, they would send their caravans and businesses, they will prepare it in the morning, and that in the end of the day they will make so much money, because the Prophet ﷺ said that there's blessings in the morning. The Prophet ﷺ, he told us about this 1 hour after Fajr. But what's more important is to wake up for Salat al-Fajr. And there's a principle in Islam, مَا لَا يُتِمُّ الْوَاجِبْ إِلَّا بِهِ فَهُوَ وَاجِبْ. Whatever is a requirement to fulfill a wajib, this requirement becomes wajib in itself. If the only way for me to go and perform Hajj that is wajib on me is to take a plane, then taking a plane is wajib for me. The means become a wajib. So today we have a big problem in the ummah, that we sleep late. Many of us sleep late. We stay up on our phones, social media. People sleep at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Some stay up all night and then they struggle to wake up for Fajr. Or even if, mashallah, the strong ones out of them, they don't miss Fajr, they get up. They're going to get up feeling extremely lazy and tired. They're going to pray the Fajr, maybe not in the masjid, at home, quick 2 rak'ah, then go back to bed. And then they waste the whole day. They will wake up, Dhuhr time, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, they still feel tired, and they're not going to get much done during the day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا وَجَعَلْنَا النَّهَارَ مَعَاشًا. The night is for rest. Allah created it dark, quiet, so our bodies and brains can rest. وَجَعَلْنَا النَّهَارَ مَعَاشًا. The day is bright. Allah made it like that so we can work, so we can go out, so we can seek the rizq. So it's been designed that way. The Prophet ﷺ, he said about the one who prays Salat al-Fajr, that there's 3 knots. Everyone knows the hadith about the 3 knots, right? How do we, shaitan, he ties us with 3 knots every morning. How do we cut the first knot? Anyone know? Salat al-Fajr. Huh?
Reading the dua.
Yeah, dhikr of Allah. Saying anything like, Ya Allah, Bismillah. Try it. Whenever you're feeling so tired, you hear the adhan or the alarm, and you say, Bismillah, Ya Allah, you will get power. Second knot is when? Who prays Salat al-Fajr here? Abdul Qadir. Yeah, second is wudu, and the third? Praying, yeah, takbirat al-ihram. When you do takbir, khalas, shaitan goes, he gives up. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said about the one who prays Fajr, he wakes up, the Prophet ﷺ said, فَأَصْبَحَ نَشِيطًا طَيِّبِ النَّفْس. The one who wakes up for Fajr, he will wake up nasheet, very energetic, very active, very productive, طَيِّبِ النَّفْس. And his nafs inside him, his heart, his soul, feels so tayyib, so good, so pure, so positive. So the one who prays Fajr, for the rest of the day, he feels productive, happy, very positive. He feels good. وَإِلَّا أَصْبَحَ خَبِيثَ النَّفْسِ كَسْلَانٍ. If he doesn't wake up for Fajr, he will wake up خَبِيث النَّفْس. His nafs, his soul feels khabith, evil. He feels negative. He's not in a mood. He doesn't want to speak to anyone, see anyone. The whole day, he's miserable. Kaslan. And he will be the whole day lazy. Even though he slept, mashallah, 10 hours, 12 hours, he missed Fajr, he'll be lazy for the rest of the day. And the other guy, he slept 4 hours, 5 hours. But he woke up for Fajr, he feels productive. This is the secret behind productivity. This is the secret behind being positive or negative. Salat al-Fajr. It starts with Salat al-Fajr, praying it on time. So this is something very simple if only we follow it. We follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. We sleep after Isha. The Prophet ﷺ, after Isha, he didn't used to socialize. He used to, between Isha and his sleep was a small gap. And the scholars, they said that it's makruh to stay up after Isha. We shouldn't stay up after Isha. Except 3 occasions. If there's guests that come over, they have haqq over us. Or if a husband spending time with his wife, quality time. Or talab al-ilm, seeking knowledge. Sleeping early is one of the secrets to success. There's a study about successful people. They found out they have 3 things in common. 3 things in common. Who can guess what these 3 traits and qualities that successful people have? Anyone know? Where'd you get that one from? You guessed it? MashaAllah. So sleeping early, as if we didn't speak about this just now. MashaAllah. Sleeping early, second quality?
Going to sleep early.
Going to sleep early. Yeah? Jazakallah khair. We just said that though. Yes, Akhi.
They're waking up, all the sun rises just around that time.
Before Fajr?
Yeah, basically.
Waking up for Fajr, okay. Any other qualities? I'm talking about successful people, Muslims and non-Muslims as well. Sisters?
Are they like productive when most people are asleep?
Sisters.
Oh,
Tfaddal. Go ahead, Abdul Qadir.
is it like they're productive when most people are asleep? So
Mm.
they do things. Just say that they get up early in the morning, like way before Fajr. And they kind of like they either do exercise or they do something like special to them.
Right.
Most people are just
Okay. So wake it up early, yeah? Wake it up early, basically. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Right. Anything else apart from waking up early, brothers and sisters? There's 3 answers and they're all the same answer.
They've got more self-discipline, like in regards to what you said,
Self-discipline to wake up early
and to like everything else, like
And to
pushing
work hard.
themselves.
Okay.
They set goals for the day to achieve.
Okay, Ahsan, that's the second one, yeah? So the first one, they wake up early. Second one, they have a clear vision. And if you have a clear vision, then goals are set as well. So that's the second one. And the third one, we touched upon it as well. It's a quality that people who pray Fajr have. Which is what? What's number 3? Discipline. It's being positive. Okay, being positive, having a clear vision, and sleeping and waking up early. These are 3 qualities that all successful people have. And 3 bad qualities that many failures have are the opposite. So number 1, they wake up and they sleep late. Number 2, they have a lack of clear vision, clarity on their vision, no vision. And number 3, they're negative people. Negativity can destroy you. And my advice, if you have any friends that are very negative people, stay away from them. Because they will try to bring you down as well. They will try to make you fail as well. So, having a vision, what is a vision first of all? What does a vision mean? Who can tell me? Don't tell me waking up early, yeah? Abdul Qadir.
is it being able to see exactly where you want to be and how to get there.
Naam, ahsan. So, vision is something that you see, something that you picture, something that you want to achieve. Naam. Anyone else? Anyone else, please?
It's something that you try to attain, and it's like an image of something you want to achieve.
Yep. So yeah, I like the word picture, image, see, because it's related to the word vision from our vision. So a vision is something that you believe in, something that you picture all the time and you want to see it and make it a reality. So a very successful charity might have a vision, and they believe, for example, we believe in a world where no poverty exists. Or they might say, we believe in a world where every child has education. So this is their vision, and because their vision is so big, so comprehensive, their work becomes big as well. They said a world, meaning they're not going to limit it to any country. They didn't say a city or a country. So they're going to do work all over the world to achieve this vision. They're going to try to produce educational programs for every child, or they're going to try to remove poverty from every family. So this vision, and visions like that should be big. The bigger that is, the bigger the work. Even if you don't see it in your life, it's still a good vision because it might happen one day. The Prophet ﷺ had a vision. He wanted to be the Prophet of Allah that has the most followers on the Day of Judgment. He said that. He didn't see it in his time, but today he's got the most followers. And we know from the revelations that the most people who will enter paradise are the Muslims. The most followers that any prophet will have is our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So vision is something that you work hard towards, regardless if you see the results or not. You still work towards it. And every prophet had a vision. The companions, they had a vision. The Salaf as-Salih, the scholars of Islam. And due to being very visionary, you see the impact in their time. You see that they used to preserve their time, use their time very well, and their time was blessed. Some of the scholars that if they traveled from one city to another, they would write a book in the way, because they're just hard working all the time, using their time wisely. When a person has a vision, he should split his responsibilities. Okay, so every Muslim should have a vision, and this could be collected to everyone, is that we should all plan to enter paradise. We should all have a vision that we want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be pleased with us, and that we save ourselves and our families from the punishment. So we should all have that vision. However, you can have a worldly vision that will be a token to reaching the bigger vision, entering paradise. So something that you do in this world that will make you achieve the bigger vision that we are all trying to achieve, which is to enter paradise. And every single one of you has a special, unique, exclusive blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have something that I don't have. Someone else might have something that you don't have. I might have something that my brother doesn't have, and vice versa. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, اعملوا فكل ميسر لما خلق له. Do the actions. Every single one of you will be guided to what he is best for. Every single one of you will be guided to his position, to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might give you the blessings of being a good speaker, or being good with and friendly with so many people. You get along with people. This is a blessing. And a blessing, النعم الحقيقي والشاكر, the real grateful person, هو الذي يستعمل النعم في طاعة الله. The real believer, the real grateful believer, he uses the blessings that Allah gave him in a way that brings him closer to Allah and make him earn more deeds. And he doesn't use it for sin. Allah blessed you with a good voice. You could do music with it, you could do haram with it, or you can recite Quran, or do Amr bin Ma'roof, or do Sulh. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you the blessing of being able to speak the tongue. You can backbite, you can lie, you can slander and so on, or you can do khair with it. Allah gave you money. You can do sadaqah, or you can do haram with it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever blessing He gave you. And the Prophet ﷺ, when Aisha saw him pray at night, praying Qiyam al-Layl, she said to him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made you the messenger of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made you a prophet and He forgave all of your past sins and your future sins. In other words, she's trying to say that you don't need to do so much ibadah. Allah will give you paradise. But what did the Prophet ﷺ say? He said, أَفَلَا أَكُونَ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. If Allah made me a messenger and made my sins forgiven, should I not therefore be a grateful servant, a grateful abd? Which means if Allah gives you more, then you should do more. Allah gave you more, give more sadaqah. Allah gave you a better job, help more people. Whatever Allah gives you, don't do less after the blessing. Give more and do more. So when you look at the life of the Prophet ﷺ, the scholars, they said, a third of his life was ibadah. وَكَانُوا لَنَا عَابِدِينَ. And a third of his other life was to his family. خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرٌ لِأَهْلِ. The best of you are those who are the best to his family. And the third of his last life is da'wah. Da'wah and teaching his people, the companions, giving da'wah to non-Muslims. And he had that perfect balance. Not one was over the expense of the other. So this balance is something we should adopt as well. We shouldn't do so much da'wah and we neglect our family. And we're always with our family, we don't do any da'wah. And we do da'wah but we miss Qiyam al-Layl and Fajr and so on. So we should have that perfect balance between the three. So my recommendation is, if any of you can do this when they get home or one day, write down ibadah, and then another page, my family, and then another page, my studies and my work, and another page, my community and my da'wah. First aim, ibadah. What do I want to achieve from ibadah? I want to achieve through ibadah the pleasure of Allah and to enter paradise. For me to reach this aim, I need to plan for it. If you fail to plan, then you plan to what? Plan to fail. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So make a plan. How can I achieve this aim? I want to pray 5 salawat on time. I want to give sadaqah once a month, £10, £20, whatever I'm capable of. I want to start fasting every Monday and Thursday. I want to pray my sunnah prayers. I want to read Quran every day. I want to do my adhkar in the morning, my adhkar in the masa. I want to spend good quality time with my parents. So you write down all of the ibadats that you can do, and you write it down and you plan to act upon it and implement it. Then you go to your family. What do I want to achieve from my family? I want them to have a good image of Islam through my character. So you start making plans. That every day I want to spend just half an hour, 1 hour time with my mum. I want to have breakfast with my mother. Say good words to her. I want to help her out, go shopping with her. Help her in the house. Because you want her to love Islam through you. And because Allah ordered me to do ihsan to my parents. So talk is cheap. We all know what is halal and haram. We all know what is good deeds, what is not. But we don't do it because we don't plan to do it. We don't plan for it. So we need to write it down. Make it first into actions. And then actions become habits. And then habits become your personality. Then your third page, your studies. What do you want to achieve through your studies? You want to maybe impact society. You want to impact your local community. So you're studying for a reason. Don't study for the sake of it. You want to study perhaps for the brothers. You want to get a good job. And that job, you want to do khair with it. You want to help others and you want to use your money to get married, to have children, to do khair. Likewise, with the sisters, what do I want behind the studies? And a Muslim, like we said, has to have itqan. We have to aim for the first class honors. We have to aim for number 1. As Muslims, we must be educated people. As Muslims, we should be the leaders of society. We should have the positions, leadership positions in the media, in law, in the government, economy, everything. We should kind of be the light in society. So therefore, studying is a necessity. Being educated is a necessity. So make a plan for that. I would not miss a single lecture. I would read every day 1 hour or 2 hours. I would have a specific time in the week where I'm writing essays, coursework. If you want the high grades and you want to achieve, you need to make a plan as well. And lastly, da'wah. What am I doing for my local masjid? What am I doing for the brothers? What am I doing? Any causes. There's many causes. Youth work, da'wah to non-Muslims, feeding the homeless, visiting sick people. There's so much khair that you can do with your spare time. Make sure you have a few hours every week that you're volunteering for good causes. Having a vision would never happen if you don't plan, if you don't write down these ideas. The Japanese people, they are from the most visionary people. South Korea, 40, 50 years ago, was a country that was very poor because after the war, nothing existed. And if I was to show you a picture of South Korea 40 years ago and show it to some of the youth of South Korea today, they will deny it. They will say, this is not South Korea, this is Vietnam. This is no way us. Because they worked so hard within 40 years. Let's give an example of Saudi Arabia and South Korea. 40 years ago, 50 years ago, they were the same economically. They were both poor countries. Saudi Arabia, Allah gave them oil, natural resources. They didn't work hard for it. It just came. They became millionaires, rich people. So Allah gave them that. When the oil goes, they will return back to how they were 50 years ago. The South Koreans, they had not natural resources, human resources. They worked hard. They were visionary. They were anti-corruption. Anyone who's corrupt, they used to give some of the most severe punishments because corruption destroys human resources. And they started innovating and producing, and now one of the biggest manufacturers and producers in the world, South Korea. Some of the best cars in the world, South Korea. So they looked at their situation. We don't have money. We need to use our ideas. We need to work hard. We need to work as a team. And mashallah, you have to give them credit. They achieved it. So the Japanese, they say, a vision without actions is a daydream. If you have great ideas, but you don't have any actions that follow with it, you're just daydreaming. But actions without a vision is a nightmare. But when you don't have a vision in the first place, you're planning for failure. And what they also have, the South Koreans and the Japanese, they have self-belief and they have self-determination and they're positive and they're motivated. They have this mentality, the Japanese, they say, if he can do it, then I can do it. If he can do it, then I can definitely do it. And if no one has done it before, then I am going to be the first person to do it. An Arab guy, he heard this quote, he liked it. So he said, if he could do it, khalas, let him do it then. And if no one has done it before, then how on earth am I able to do it myself? Impossible. So this shows positivity, negativity, determination, lack of determination. Okay, because time is short, I'm going to end with a story, inshallah. And I'm going to end with just some quick tips on how to keep productivity, inshallah ta'ala. Anyone heard of the famous story, fiction, English story, probably did school days, year 1, year 2, of the fox and the rabbit? Anyone's heard of that story? Put your hand up if you heard it. 1. The brothers heard it. What's the story? Tell us the story, inshallah.
Fox in the head.
Yeah.
Is that the one where the fox decides the fox decides to sleep, and then you're talking about the tortoise in the head?
No. I've never had that one. No. The fox didn't go to sleep. No, not the turtle. No. Anyone else heard of the story? Sister, you heard that? Okay, so it's a simple. So the fox wanted to eat the rabbit, and the rabbit found out that there's a fox near it. So as soon as it sensed that there's a fox coming to eat it, the rabbit started running away. And the rabbit was clever that it was running for so long, didn't give up, and it was trying to hide behind the bushes, tried to hide behind a tree, tried to get away and escape. And the fox kept running behind it until it nearly ate the rabbit from behind, but the rabbit managed to jump and keep hopping until it escaped. The fox got tired and then it gave up, it stopped. So a farmer who saw the race, he said, how strange. How can this big fast fox not be able to catch this small rabbit? So the fox replied to the farmer, of course it's a fiction, it's not a miracle or anything. The fox started speaking and he said to the farmer, you are wrong. You are wrong. This fox, me, I was running for a snack. I couldn't catch this rabbit, I'll catch another rabbit. But this rabbit was running for its life. The rabbit was running for its life. What does that mean, brothers and sisters? Sorry? What does that mean? What's happening, Abdul Qadir? What's going on?
Come on, guys.
The more important the goal,
Mashallah.
the harder it works.
Yeah, carry on. You're getting there. Adam, help us out, man.
The brother said that the point being said.
Yeah, well, go on, brother.
That's it.
Sorry?
I said, now his point is that the more important the goal, the difference your performance.
Ahsant. The bigger the goal, the more work you're going to put. Okay? Because life is very important, of course. You're not going to give up. You only have one life. And the snack is not very important. So you're not going to spend all of your life and your hard work, your sacrifice efforts. And that's the same with us. We need to make our goals important. We need to make our goals very important. We need to make seeking knowledge important, memorizing the Quran important, pleasing Allah, something important. As soon as we make that important, then you're going to see our salah on time. Then you're going to see our good deeds, and we're going to stay away from the bad deeds. But if we don't care too much, we're not really seeing going to Jannah as something important, the efforts are going to be small and then we're going to give up. So for us to stay steadfast, we need to remind ourselves of how important it is to be in Jannah. We need to make sure we try to enter there. Just some last tips, inshallah ta'ala. Some of the reasons why we are unproductive sometimes is, number one, due to the sins. The more sins we commit, the less blessings in our life. And the companions, they used to believe that Allah would remove the blessings the more you sin. And that you will be tested with your wealth, with your family, with anything that you own, your cars and so on, due to the sin. And whenever something will happen, let's say that their wives are not obeying them or happy with them, that they will know this is due to a sin. The camel and the horse is playing around, not listening, children not listening, money, no barakah, no blessings in the money, it's due to the sin. And the a'mal as-salihah yuthabbit an-ni'am. Good deeds will preserve and guard your good blessings. And if you're shakir to Allah, grateful, He will give you even more. Number two, learning from mistakes. So, ليس الخطأ أن تخطأ إنما الخطأ أن تستمر على الخطأ. It's not wrong to make a mistake. It's more wrong to not learn from your mistake and keep continuing doing the mistakes. So there's a famous quote: "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." George Bush famously said it. He got it wrong. He made a mistake when he was saying it. It's a famous quote that once, okay, we can all make a mistake the first time. But second time is a mistake from our side. Shura, feedback and shura. Always ask people for advice. Two people who never learn are the shy people and the arrogant people. The shy person, he wants to ask, but he's afraid. Don't be afraid to break your comfort zone for the sake of a benefit, something that will benefit you. You might have an opportunity to do a good deed, but you don't do it because you're shy. This won't be justified. And likewise, the arrogant person, he thinks he knows everything, so he doesn't learn. So always ask others for advice, people who you see as learned people you look up to, you respect. Number 4, stay close with wise people. and stay close with positive people. This will impact you. Number 5, always be positive and optimistic. The Prophet ﷺ, when he was described as an optimistic person. And he used to encourage people to be optimistic. The Prophet will visit a sick person and he will say, لا بأس شفاء وطهورا إن شاء الله. He wouldn't be negative, he wouldn't create a worrying atmosphere. He would say, لا بأس, nothing to worry about. Shifa, Allah is going to purify you and Allah is going to heal you. And this is why the companions, whenever they used to get sick, they never used to see it as bad, they used to see it as good. They used to see it as glad tidings. Allah is purifying us. Allah is making us come close to Him. And know that it's part of our iman to believe that everything khair comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرُهُ شَيْءًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. It could be perhaps that you hate something and you hate something that is good for you. And you love something that is bad for you. So always have trust and reliance and hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever outcome happens, it's khair from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The khair comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. جزاكم الله خيرا. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عن سيئاتنا وطهر لنا قلوبنا ووفقنا لما تحب وترضى ويسر لنا أمورنا كلها يا رب العالمين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وجزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.